good, y'all? It's the one and only King Cal 516 live in the mix, and this is the Swiss Flames podcast. Be sure to check out our website, www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Swiss Flames, and check out the brand new Facebook page at Swiss Flames Podcast. So we're going to dive right into this situation. Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers has re-signed with the Clippers for a 4-year, $176.3 million deal. Show Kawhi the money, the money, the money, the money. So if you're a Clipper fan waking up this morning, you can relax a little bit. You can breathe a little easier. You can de-stress a little bit more. You can go out tonight and have fun with your friends, not worrying about the future of your team, because it is solidified for the next few years that Kawhi Leonard will be in full with the Clippers for a 4-year deal. Now, we heard recently Kawhi was re-signing, so we were just waiting on terms. Was he going to do the 1+1, or was he going to do a long-term deal? Him doing a long-term deal at this point tells me everything I need to know about that injury and how Kawhi Leonard feels about it and how his camp probably feels about it. It's a similar situation where I felt with AD last year when he was kind of lingering, deciding which contract to kind of do with the Lakers. AD went for the long-term deal. And let me tell you why guys like AD or guys like Kawhi taking a long-term deal is better business sense for them. If you compare it to LeBron James, when LeBron James left Cleveland, he didn't really trust Cleveland management just because of the things that went on before. What he would do was hold leverage against them by signing these 1+1s. And then when he eventually won a title, he signed a longer deal. And then after that deal went out, he opted out to join the Lakers. So we know that LeBron kind of set this whole thing of keeping leverage on management, making sure they do the moves they want, you know what I'm saying? Because he realized LeBron, he'll, in his stint with Miami and is also with his stint with the Cleveland Cavs the first time around, he had long-term deals locked in, and so they did decisions and moves that he didn't really like, that he felt that didn't really show commitment to winning. And so when he went to the Cavs the second time around, he started using that as leverage. So some players have adapted this. But a player like Anthony Davis, you don't really want to play around. Why? Because you have an injury history. Same thing with Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? You have problems with knee, and now you're going to be out most of the season, possibly all the season, with another knee injury, and you have a history of knee problems. So for Kawhi, this is one of those things where, yeah, you could have done a 1+1 and then next year sign a long-term extension and for even more money than the 176. But for Kawhi Leonard, right now, I just think the smartest move was take as much money as you can get, because you're of the status that they're going to fully guarantee everything in that contract right now. So while they're going to do that, and you know they're going to fully guarantee it, and you know you have it, and you know you have a history of injury, take the money. Because a guaranteed NBA contract is always good money. You're going to get that money regardless. And so while you have leverage as being Kawhi Leonard and being the focal point, and the fact that they've already mortgaged the future for you, when they went to trade for Paul George, that trade wasn't just about getting Paul George, it was also securing you to the team. They're all in on having you on the team, so they're going to listen and try to make you happy, because there's not much options out there for them right now. You know what I mean? So if you're a Clipper fan, it's a good time for you. You have Kawhi Leonard in the fold for multiple years, which, once he gets back healthy, obviously you'll be a contender for a title. We'll see if you'll end up winning one or not, but Kawhi Leonard at least makes you a contender for the title. And even though we know he's going to be out most of this year, possibly all this year, you're probably still going to have 3 solid years, hopefully, as long as he stays healthy, Kawhi Leonard helping you trying to win your first championship ever. So the Clippers this year, I think they still have a good team. I still think it's a playoff team without Kawhi. I think they can be a top 5 team. I don't think they will be a top 3 team in the West without Kawhi. I think they could be a top 5 team, but I foresee them being anywhere from 4 to 8. And it's more likely 5 to 8 in my opinion. I think this will be a great season to develop Terrence Mann. He showed some really, really special things in the playoffs, so he'll get a lot more playing time. Terrence Mann probably will start in front of Kawhi, and I think that'll be a good move by the Clippers. Let that guy get more and more experience. You know what I mean? Because he's one of your young players. It's like the Lakers with Taylor Horton-Tucker. You have at least that one young player you can develop. You know what I mean? And groom. You know what I'm saying? To take some of the pressure off of your stars. So Terrence Mann, I like what I see from him. I think he has a lot of heart. He has a killer instinct, and he doesn't seem scared even at his young age. And so I see a lot of great attributes from him. So I think this is going to be a great year for Terrence Mann to get experience. So for the Clippers, indirectly, that's a plus. That's a positive. But I do think they are a playoff team, and if Kawhi ends up coming by the end of the season, I'm not going to put too much on it, because to be a year out of basketball and come in, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I'm possibly thinking that he may not play this season, because depending on how quickly that injury heals up, and we know Kawhi's history of Kawhi don't play around with injuries. He want to make sure he's good. So now having that 4-year contract for Kawhi, there's really no pressure to come back because you secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? So, I think part of the reason, for him doing that 4-year deal also was to take the pressure off having to feel like he wants to rush back. So Kawhi, to me, is going to make sure in the Clippers, because they have a long-term investment in him now, they're going to make sure he's 100%. So depending on how long it just takes to heal, you do not want a guy to come back playoff time where everything is revved up at that high degree. So it's very likely he can miss this whole season. It's similar to Kevin Durant's injury when you start hearing rumors, and you start seeing Kevin Durant playing ball, and then that's about to hit the playoffs, but then that's, then try to push him back early. They said, no, we're going to the full extent, and we're going to give him extra a little longer time than normal because we have, a long-term deal with him, and we're not going to hinder the rest of the deal for that first season. You know what I mean? So I think the Clippers are going to be on the side of caution, especially now because they have him locked in for the 4 years. So they don't have to worry about, oh man, he's going to opt out again next year. So that takes a lot of pressure on the team. It helps them to build better, helps them understand how to handle things. And so this is a win for the Clippers. This is a win for Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion. And so we'll see how the season shakes out for the Clippers. Once again, I think they can finish top 5 if everything falls right. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be surprised if they end up somewhere between 5 and 8 as far as where they left. The West is stacked and loaded. There's a lot of strong teams. There's going to be teams that are highly more confident this year. You got a lot of young teams coming back. I really like the heart of the Grizzlies. I still don't feel like they have enough yet, but, teams like that, they're hungry. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix will be back in the fold. You know what I mean? Doing good as well. Utah's going to be there. Obviously, the Lakers are recharged, so they're going to be in the mix. You know what I mean? Denver doesn't have Jamal Murray, but I still feel like Michael Porter Jr. is going to keep stepping up to the plate and hold the fort down, where I think Denver could be a very highly successful regular season team. I just think that Jamal Murray is the key for that team to make a deep playoff run. So we'll see what happens to him and his injury. But there's a lot of great teams in the West. In the Wild Wild West, there's a lot of competition out there, so nothing's easy. We'll see how the Clippers end up doing. But yeah, Kawhi Leonard signs the deal for 4 years, $176.3 million. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good deal for the Clippers? Do you think it was a smart decision from Kawhi? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. With that said, it's your boy King Cal 516 signing off. This has been the Switch Flame Podcast, y'all. Peace.